Hello, everybody. I hope that you're doing great. This is for Leo, and it's for March 2020. Apollo's all fluffy here and just got up from a nap, but I thought I'd bring him in at the beginning here as we said hello. There's some really intense energy coming in for your sign today, so I'm excited to help you navigate all the opportunities. And I think we're going to have a really powerful meditation as well to really help focus everything that's coming through so that this can be a great month ahead, okay? So much love from this little guy here. I'm going to put him down so he can continue napping. And let's get into the exciting energy for your sign, as I said, for March 2020. So first and foremost, welcome. If anybody's brand new, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Nicholas Ashbaugh, and each and every month I come through and I try to give you readings about 4 to 6 weeks ahead to give you all of the possibility to really affect change in the month, both that you're currently in and the month ahead. And the way that you can use these readings are for your sun sign, your rising, as well as your moon. And if you don't happen to know that, then just stick with your birth sign and you're going to get all of the energy and information that you need. I'd like to take a moment to thank everybody for joining me. It's always great to see all the different parts of the world that stop in for one of these live readings. So thank you for making your presence known. Thank also Ryan and Maria for helping moderate this. It allows me to really focus and be present and give you the information that you need. I'd like to also let you know that here's the structure for today. We're going to talk about channeled information in just a moment, and there's a lot to talk about. So I look forward to kind of letting you see all of the stuff that's been coming through in meditation. After I do that, I go to a Celtic Cross and then expand the forecast to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. At the end of this forecast, we do something unique, which I've been adding in with the live forecast, which is a healing meditation. So I'll be looking this month at ways to improve self-love, personal healing, anything in the heart space you need to work on, and also forgiveness. This is love with a capital L. It's not just sort of day-to-day sort of relationships. This is really working on the heart center. So that's the global focus for all signs, because even though this is for March, many of you are watching in February, and I know that relationships are a big focus in February, so I wanted to help you out with that a little bit. Now, I'd love for you to stick around until the end as well, because I'll let you know how you can give back to the channel if you're interested, from booking an appointment to joining me on social media. But because this is live, one way that you can make a difference now is to also give a super chat. And super chat is basically, or super sticker, it's a way to kind of give a high five if you like what I'm doing, and you can access that through this icon right there. Unlike many people that do live readings, I'm not going to interact while you're doing that because some folks are going to watch this on replay because of work or schedule, so I want this not to be interrupted by that. But at the end, I'll say thank you, and also I post a little thank you in the comments section whenever this goes live. So with all that being said, there's so much to get to today. I really want to focus on the messages coming through. So let's talk about the channeled messages, which I started receiving about 4 hours before this. And I tried to break this down into 3 big parts for you. So as I looked at this, there's energy about money, about legal matters, legal contracts, and also communication. And when I looked at the calendar, it made sense because retrograde's going to fall at the end of February, and it's going to also kind of spill into March. So you really do want to be careful with these areas. Here's what I wrote down in the channel message, and I'll tell you some of the things that I was seeing in my dreams even this morning. Like I said, I got up around 5 a.m. and this goes live at 9 a.m. So there was a lot to kind of break down. The first was I saw that money matters are going to be key. I feel that some of you are at a point where you might be trying to sell a house, negotiate some sort of a new job or contract, or you might be looking at investments in your life and thinking, can I do better? Or maybe there's something that I need to talk to someone about. So the first and the most important thing is to talk openly about financial concerns. For some of you, it could be that you just wish you could do better, or maybe there's something that isn't right and you need assistance. So whether it's talking to a banker, talking to your partner, or just asking questions to really be informed, being open and being honest about finances, that's number one, because I could see some people kind of feeling the energy and the weight or the stress of finances. And I think that, right now in the world, sometimes we don't even talk about that. That's something that people kind of keep to themselves. So I can't remember which sign I was talking about. It might have been Aries, but I think financial transparency within families especially is important. So if it's your lover, your partner, your friend, or again, blood relatives, and there's some issues going on, you just need to be honest about that so you can resolve it. I also got a warning. Normally, I'm not someone who kind of worries too much about retrograde. I think that you can just plan a little bit ahead and navigate the changes if you need to. But I will say, if you're going to do anything contractual, you definitely want to get legal counsel. You want to get a lawyer, in other words, and really make sure that everything that you're seeing in the contract makes sense to you. So first, talk openly about finances so you know where you're at, you know where your partner's at. And then also get some outside perspective on this, because even with that open and transparent communication, there may be some details going on this month, whether it's relating to taxes or laws, or even sort of a clause within contracts that you miss that it's really important to understand. So if you can wait, you know, as I'm looking at the latter part of February and most of March, I would say this is a time to plan, not necessarily get into those contracts. But if you have to get into it, get a really good advocate to help you navigate it. And finally, and this is really important for all matters in your life, because I think these two things could be alleviated by this. This is going to help you also with relationship issues that could come up. I said communicate openly, early, and often as well. So with this transparency that you can then bring into the relationships, anything that comes through, it's not going to be a surprise. So communicate often, early, and openly. I think that can actually help you with everything that we talked about here. And so again, this month, if I had to kind of break it down, it's money, contracts, and communication. I was getting strangely specific dreams about this morning too. And I think one of the things that struck me in a few of the messages or the downloads was that if you feel from the onset, from the get-go, that something is not right, please honor that, because it felt like there were a couple of decisions that could have been, you know, or situations that could have been averted just with that decision that I'm going to listen to my own intuition. So I think that you are receiving wonderful guidance from the universe. If you listen to it, it's going to be easy and breezy, and you're going to get straight through the month. If you don't, then you're going to have some difficulties. If you happen to fall into that category, or you've already started something like that, then just get some support. That's really what I was seeing. Don't be afraid to get an expert, and definitely talk to the people around you and be real with that, and you're going to be all right. So yeah, I think as long as you are very prepared and proactive, and you're present, really tuning into the signs and signals around you, this month will be fine. And that was the main message here. The openness and communication is going to be, I think, the difference between something working and not working for you, and also a way that you can save something even after it's started to get complicated. Let's take a look now at the cards. This is going to help you navigate the opportunities, and it's not just about, you know, some of the challenges. I want to help you see where you can really shine this month. That's what these readings are for. And the extra time that you have now will help you prepare and navigate. And that's why we show up a little early. I was looking through the decks, and I knew that I picked the right deck when I grabbed this and I saw you right on the back here. So I'm going to give this a good shuffle. And at this point, I turn the camera down, and I am going to remain quiet while I arrange all the cards, but stick around until afterwards, and then I'm going to basically share everything that comes through for you, okay? All right, so let's see what March 2020 has in store for you. We'll see if the Strength card comes out again. All right, everyone. Thank you for being patient as I got all the cards in front of us here. So I really like the catalyst message this month. The catalyst helps us stay in the highest possible energy, avoiding any of the potential pitfalls that I actually covered in pretty decent detail there in the channeled message. So your catalyst this month is about success. I'm going to read it first and I'll show you the card. It says, I know that there is no greater goal than to love. So it's actually kind of challenging you to look at a different sort of definition of success, because oftentimes we see success as sort of like power, achievement, status, money. And this is really showing you that being able to love what you're doing or love who you are, something that we're going to focus on in the meditation at the end, is actually more of a definition of success. This reminds me a lot of the Wheel of Fortune, which we see here in your deep past. So you have like two different, I would say, kind of like warring definitions or opportunities in front of you. So if some of you may be feeling like you're very successful, but you may not be happy, or some of you may be very happy, but the money may not be where you want it. So this month is a chance for you, if you're in that category, to try to find balance, because I don't think that these two extremes have to exist. I feel like you can, especially if you love what you're doing, you can find abundance on that path. And it may just be the company that you keep that you want to change. You might want to look at a move, because we see cards here that show shifting, and that could be something that you want to do. For me, the Wheel of Fortune can also indicate a chance to restart or reimagine something, and definitely a chance to move, even though it's not the world. It's basically a chance for success across the board. So let's kind of look at the different cards here and see how you can maybe find love and happiness and still find that abundance, because I think that could be the challenge for some of you. And that definitely coincides and kind of gels with what I was seeing in my channeled message as well. Your center card shows that you have the power to manifest. We have a couple cards showing manifestation here, but the card is reversed here. So Two of Wands. This is always a card where, usually you're holding something in your hand and it's a vision of where you want to go. This Two of Wands is interesting because we see the person kind of at their home or their place of dwelling here. And what I would say here is that it kind of seems like there's a dormancy to maybe your practice of manifestation, or thinking like, I'll deal with that later, or there's always time to do this. So what I'm getting is a little bit more immediacy around activating your plans. So if you've been thinking of doing something, if you have been sort of having that itch for a change to happen in your life, it does feel like the time is right to begin to plant those seeds of change. We have in your ego card here, the High Priest card. Normally, the High Priest is just the Hierophant. In this deck, we have a little bit more of a magical energy with it. It almost reminds me of the Magician. But whenever you have the Hierophant in reverse, it's saying, I'm going to break down traditional ways of doing things, and I'm going to be sort of my own person. And there is this sort of rebel energy that goes with the Hierophant in reverse or the High Priest in reverse. So the way that you can be successful this particular month, as we're looking at March for you, is to try things in a different way. If it's worked before, you may have to try something new because it won't work this month. Or if you're feeling like you've just been hitting a brick wall, this is saying, look to the right, look to the left, look up. There's another way. There's a better way to do it. And that's why you're finding that sort of resistance coming through. So trust in your ability to manifest. Take a leap of faith, take a risk. And for some of you, that might mean sort of letting go of something too, because I got a feeling of unhappiness with finances or with career when I was meditating. And I feel like that's what maybe needs to start to happen is, what's my plan B? What's my true heart's desire? Is there a way that I can kind of mesh what I'm doing for a living with that passion, so that success is both heart and then also abundance around me? We have the 10 of Cups here crossing the 2 of Wands, which shows me that help is closer than you think. 10 of Cups are friends, family, colleagues, your community, people that you practice your faith with, maybe that you exercise with. It's those close friends that are all around you. And there's a lot of people that are willing and ready to help. The 10 of Cups is a great card to have right on top of 2 of Wands. It means don't be afraid to reach out. Reach out in a sort of professional way saying, hey, I saw this new opportunity. Can you put in a good word for me? reach out in a literal sense where it's sort of like, I need assistance with this. Can I count on you? Or also for some of you that need some support because you've been going through a difficult time, picking up the phone, talking to a therapist or a doctor or a friend. So help is there. All you need to do is see it, ask for it, and really take advantage of that beautiful network that looks like it's been waiting and ready for you to kind of say, hey, I'm here. As I looked at the deep past, I want to kind of acknowledge those of you that have really done a lot of work to be successful. The Wheel of Fortune comes when you have basically graduated through a phase of your life. So for some of you, this could just be an understanding of, I no longer need or want to do this. It's a change card, like I said. It's not as difficult or as sort of in your face as the Tower would be, or even the Ten of Wands. This is something where it just feels inside like it's time. And I think we've all had that happen sometimes. You know, maybe you've been at a job for 10 years and you go to work one day and you think, what am I doing here? You know, I can see that I'm successful. The money looks good, but I just don't feel it anymore. Or you're in a relationship and maybe you've built this strong kind of future and present together, but you wonder, why aren't we connecting anymore? It feels like this has become more of a business partnership. How can we get back to loving one another? And so something needs to change. So it can either be that you're going to reset expectations, or for some of you, again, kind of go in a different trajectory. Nine of Wands. This is a great card whenever it shows up. It shows that you are qualified, persistent, perseverant. You can handle anything that comes in your path. And this one is a little bit more, it's a chance to strategize. A lot of times you'll see someone that's wounded with this. This person is more thinking, I've come this far. Do I want to keep pressing forward? Or again, am I going to try something new? With the Nine of Wands, I will say this. If you are looking at your job situation or anything in your life where you're ready for kind of some sort of recognition, this shows me that it's due, it's time, it's a right time to kind of make that move. So if you want to ask for an advance or the next level at a job, I'm ready to, be this position instead of this, it's a good time to start having the conversation. You don't want to necessarily get pushy with this, but I think it's a good time to plant the seed and say, I see myself here in a year. Do you agree? Same thing with relationships. We've been dating for X amount of time. What are you looking for? You can open it up so that you're not even projecting out what it is that you want. Try to find what your partner wants to see if they're interested. So this is a qualification card showing that you're ready. The Wheel of Fortune also shows an internal readiness too. So now it's really up to people around you if they can see it, and also if you're going to project that you're ready, heart, mind, body, and spirit, but the heart needs to be there. And I think that's one thing that we talked about. I'm mentioning that because in the crowning position, I see emotions running high. And I felt that sort of, I would say again, that sort of tension when I was meditating. Things looked really good, but I thought, why am I tense about finances? Why am I feeling this sense of things not being able to be where they need to be? So I think if you put everything aside for a second and you thought to yourself, 1, am I happy? 2, if I am, great. Why do I kind of feel this itchiness or readiness to change? But if I'm not, what do I need to do to be happy? Because I think you need to get in and do a little soul searching before you can expect opportunities to come to you. Knowing what you want, knowing kind of the expectations for others to show up and be successful, how they can kind of be there for you. You have to have that vision. This is where the Two of Wands is reversed. There's something missing in your sort of projection to the future that could be blocking the success that wants to come through with the good work that you've done in the Wheel of Fortune. So clarify your goals, and I would say equalize anything that's going on emotionally with you. So if you're not happy, take a day off. Take some mental health days. If you need more than one, talk to somebody. Really get yourself into a happy place before you decide to move forward. If I can kind of take a chance here for some of you, I think what's going on is the pressure to try to please could also be stressing you out. So we have the Six of Wands, which is generally a very good card. This shows success, acceptance, really people championing you and ready for whatever it is that you want to bring in. The reversal of this can be a dangerous sort of second guessing of what you're doing. It's basically, if I could formulate the question, it would be, will they like me? Is what I'm doing good enough? Can I do it again? For those of you that have achieved success once but are afraid of like the sophomore jinx, the question is basically the answer. So stop questioning yourself. Basically, what you want to do instead of is just basically say that I can do this. It's not going to be a big deal. I'm going to just start it now. It's happening. So yeah, I've never thought of it that way. The question is the answer. So if you are questioning yourself, then it's not going to happen as effectively as it should. Instead, project the feeling that I'm ready to get started. I'm excited for this opportunity. And people will love what I'm doing because I love what I'm doing. And that's the key to success in life. That's why the success card came through. So if you're a professional and you haven't seen the growth that you want, either within yourself or maybe even clients and coworkers, you're wondering, why isn't this happening? You have to be really passionate about what you're doing. You have to project that passion. If you're a kind of quiet person, this is also about sharing who you are, what your thoughts are, being out there a little bit more. And I think that's going to be your key to success. But I've said this a lot. It's a theme that I've seen for the month of March. You really want to be careful with trying to do something just for somebody else. So the Six of Wands is great, but not if you're trying to basically act in order to be something that someone else wants. That's not an authentic version of whatever it is you're trying to convey. So be authentic, be passionate, trust yourself, stop questioning yourself. These are all the ways that you could turn these reverse cards into the upright position, saying, I'm full of great energy, great passion. You want to be around me. And this is a great idea. You really want to kind of join in. So there you go. As we look at your soul, which is going to really help you figure out, how can I make this happen? As I said, this high priest is actually a little bit of a magician. There's manifestation going on. He's bringing the skills that he had, because when you think of the major arcana, you can't get to the high priest or the Hierophant until you've actually mastered magician and high priestess. So this person already has the requisite skills to manifest. They need to trust that. That's why the card was reversed. They need to focus. And they also need to try to do it in a way that is unconventional or may surprise. So the element of timing and success are paramount this month. The other thing is, if there's somebody in your midst that is older or stubborn or cannot understand what you're trying to do, this is where there may be a parting of the ways, because there's something about the old system that is not working or is broken, and it needs to shift in order for you to be able to grow, to be happy, and to be successful. So I think your first attempt should be to try to transform that system and see if the person will work with you. But if they won't, that's a litmus test. That gives you permission, knowledge, and encouragement to move forward and think there's probably a better environment, a better partner, and a better way to get this done. And if I can't get it done here, I'm going to try it somewhere else. Hopefully that makes sense. As we look at your environment here, we have the Seven of Cups. It's reversed, but I'm going to pull it in the upright so you can just kind of take in the illustration for a second. The upright is basically saying you have a chance this month to explore opportunities in front of you, and that there's something very valuable in that brainstorming, in that expansion. And for some of you, you may be deciding even to think of like, why am I not challenged in this job? Or why am I so challenged in this relationship? There's something about the situation right now that just isn't vibing with you. The reversal of this is saying, go to your heart, go to really what we're looking at this month is mostly the heart center, but heart and third eye. The first thing you feel, the first thing that you see, that's it. If you go too deep into the rabbit hole of the Seven of Cups, you will lose momentum, as we see here, and you will also lose focus. Sometimes all of these people, it's kind of, they can water down the truth of something. And this happens a lot with, you can see movies sometimes that have just been edited too far, or they've kind of been watered down. Actually, I'm thinking of Waterworld or something like that. Who was not thinking like this needs to be improved? Sometimes there's a good idea and it just gets basically over too many people in the room. So if you have something in your life where you feel like, no, I know what I need to do, and if one more person can't see it this way, then I just have to go. I have to do it myself. I think this is especially true of artists, composers, writers, entrepreneurs, and anybody that wants to do something like going back to school or doing a reset for their career. Because a lot of times, especially parents and partners, they're so close to you and they think they know you so well, but they're not allowing you to get out of your skin and become something bigger and better. And notice that within this, we have a butterfly on this, this particular Seven of Cups. So there's a chance to transform, and it's maybe only you that can see that transformation opportunity. A lot of times the Seven of Cups, you'll see all the different things here. We only have one element that's coming out of the cups, and that's to change, to transform. And we talked about the change element sooner. So at the beginning here. So I think it's time now for this to happen for many of you. Looking at places of opportunity, for some of you, what might be causing fear of this forward momentum, we have the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Definitely a financial card, also a card of house and home. And when I looked at the Two of Wands, it does feel like some of you are stuck in house and home. So this could be, for some of you, maybe you are returning to the work world after being a mother, because I see this as one of the quintessential mother cards, or a father, because we're in a place now where dads can take paternity and should take paternity leave too. So whether you've taken maternity or paternity leave, or you've just kind of taken some time off and developed yourself, decided I need a year off, I'm going to travel the world and do something for myself, that can also be the Queen of Pentacles. Now it's time to look at, how am I going to reintegrate into society? How do I now become part of this system again? And the answer is, you may be doing it in an unconventional sense. You can still find abundance, find health and wealth, but it might be through a healing career. It might be through a different organization that has a broader sort of perspective. So you may be on the fringes of things, but this is about reimagining things and doing something that feels at home to you. Because if you've been in a place where you feel like an outsider, this card can also indicate that, you have to feel more integrated with that system. You have to feel loved. You have to be appreciated as well. So find that sense of home, of also family, and also kind of connection. And when we do the meditation, it's interesting. I already have in mind what I want to kind of help you with. And I think I want to ground you and create this sort of family of energy for you so that you can find that home. And then when you go out, you're going to be able to recognize it. So we'll do more with that in the healing meditation at the end. But first things, I'd like to take a look at your final card, which is going to help you be successful. We have the Emperor card, or the Horned God, in this particular deck. And what I like here is that he has found his family, but it's very unconventional. And so you might be finding your sort of spiritual tribe. This is a card of control, management, and independence. The Emperor or the Empress, the Queen and the King of the deck here, this is basically saying that whatever you decide to do in your life moving forward, but especially in the month of March, you need to be in the driver's seat. You're the one making the decisions. You're the ones that is really sort of setting the overall vision. And so sometimes it's nice to be passive and just see what's happening. But as this particular month starts to progress, March is really challenging you to take the wheel and say, this is my opinion. This is my dream. This is why you should be a part of this as well. So if you're willing to step into that energy of ownership, great things can happen. And also you have a very attractive energy as well. As we can see here, you can pull in a new group of people, and it might be counter to what you've done before, but you'll find a different group. And we see two very different leaders here. One that is following their heart, their instincts. And it's a very diverse group that they're pulling. One that is following the status quo, that is doing what's traditional. And they also have a very good group here. But who's your family? Who's your tribe? That's really what this is questioning. Some of you, I just want to encourage you and let you know that if you decide to do something completely left or right of center, that doesn't mean that you won't find success. It just is going to be a very different path. And that's kind of what I'm seeing here. This is very sort of cosmopolitan. This is very traditional, and this is very off the beaten path, as we can even see. So if you're going to do something unusual, great. If you're ready to break from something, great. But you do have to look at emotional stability this month. Do I know what I want? Do I feel good about this? Am I doubting myself? Because if so, that has to be worked on first. Secondly, do I have the financial means to make this change happen now? If not, then wait and figure out how to create that financial stability, that's the Two of Wands. You have to be safe. You have to be supported to make that change happen. So that might mean a slight delay. That's also why I was warning some of you to perhaps wait a month and just get your plans together. I think that what's left of this particular month, February, if you're watching now, and what's ahead of you in March, that's your chance to really plant seeds, to get everything together. It's your blueprint period. So get everything internally sussed out, straightened out, ironed out, so that by the time we get into April, you're ready to kind of charge forward. Okay. Looking now at the expanded forecast, we're going to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. The messages in health are multi-part. They're looking at your emotional state, your physical state, and also spiritually. Are you attracting or are you pushing things away in your life? And I've often found that the health card and the wealth card are very close, because if you aren't healthy, if you're not happy, then it's hard to pull in abundance. So we're going to see a little bit of overlap perhaps here. And the first message here in health is about strengthening bonds. So this is what I was talking about in your channeled message. When I said basically, we're going to look at this here, communicate often, early, and with openness, transformation. And then also, really, when that comes to your finances, I think it's partners. You have to, if the word partner kind of, you can infer from that this person has your back, that you're arm in arm, that you're going to be able to handle anything together. And if you can't, then that's telling you that partnership isn't going to be what you want to kind of pursue moving forward. So do your best to figure out who matters in your life. If there's something that isn't working, and by the way, when we're looking at these, this could be mother and father energy that needs to be healed, because as I said, the Queen of Pentacles can be a mother. We have two Queen cards here. So we have Queen of Chalices, Queen of Pentacles. There could be a couple of women in your life that you need to forgive. For those of you that are in a same-sex relationship, a lot of times when I pull two of the same, it can indicate that. It can also just be evenly matched energy. But what I'm seeing here is that there are women in your life that you need to say I'm sorry to, or forgive, or let go of, or part ways with, in some way, shape, or form. Heal the bonds, strengthen them if you can, if not, release them. And even in doing that, you're still going to heal and strengthen yourself. So that's the important thing. Whether you're going down this path alone or together, you need to make your mind up this month, and that's going to be key. As we look at some other elements of your energy and health this month, not trying to please everybody. That's going to be important. That's going to take some of the stress away. Finding an outlet for your creative energy this month and your emotional energy, very, very important. And I think if you do that, you're going to be okay. We don't have a lot of other messages here with respect to health. A lot of this has to do with your interpersonal relationships. As I said, there's going to be overlap this month in some of these categories. So when we look at love, we'll get a little bit more information on that. Let's look at wealth now. It does show power in groups, workshops, and seminars. Some of you, as we saw with the Seven of Cups, are looking for a new way, looking for an understanding, more depth. The card was reversed, which means you might feel that something that you're doing is draining you, or that people around you may not be as deep or as worldly as you want. And so what we're looking for here is to find that new sort of tribe, that new group that understands who you are. So this probably is something that's not even related to work. And ironically, that could open up new opportunities in your life. So with wealth, I would say one of the things that you want to do is either develop something that you love about yourself or want to kind of explore. So this could be a skill, this could be going back to school, but this could also be something that is more related to your plan B after your current job. Like, what's going to happen? Because all of us are in career paths where eventually we have to do something else. Why wait until that career is done to hit the panic switch? This is saying you should always be working on yourself. You should always have a future vision of what to do next. You're doing this now. This is the Two of Wands. One is who you are, one is who you're about to be. So really feed into the two of those to be successful at manifesting here and now, and then like 5, 7, 10 years down the road. So spend some time and energy developing yourself. It will be well spent. Plus, you're probably going to meet some awesome people, as we saw with the 10 of Cups. And eventually that's going to help you feel more independent and also bring in people that respect this newfound independence. Looking at wealth, try not to be so perfect. I know this is so hard. The card itself reads perfection. The reverse of this even I struggle with. And this is part of what is exhilarating with what I'm doing here with the live broadcast, and also frustrating. If I make a mistake, I just keep moving, and that's life. And that's why I actually love the energy of live readings better, because it's real. None of us are perfect, and we have to find ways to kind of swerve in and out of all of the things that are happening. So this card I'm actually living by now. I'm not spending 6 hours editing the videos. For you, the same thing is coming through. And if we're to relate it to you, one thing that I think you're doing is overthinking things, or perhaps being so picky about certain aspects of yourself that you're not realizing people won't notice. So if it's something really, really small, or it's something that most people are not going to pay attention to, you would be better to invest the time and energy in other parts of your life, or moving to the next thing. So it's hard, right? But sometimes what you've done is good enough, and you're holding yourself back from something that could be a blessing, something that could make you happier, something that could untether you and give you some more independence. So if you are a manager, or if you're in any position of authority, or people are looking up to you, the fact that we have the emperor or the horn god at the end is saying, own your position, own your role in this opportunity. Focus more on looking at the big picture. And even if you're not in a position of power, but you want to get there, or independence, because power carries with it connotations that we don't necessarily need to kind of be embracing. Own your potential. That's what this card is saying. See the big picture, see where you want to go, and realize you're closer than you thought, and you have all the requisite skills to make it happen. And perfect, it's a concept, but it doesn't necessarily exist. None of us would be right here, right now, if we were already perfect. We're all working on it. Even people on the planet that were amazing, that we look up as like spiritual leaders and even saints, they were still working on themselves while they were on the planet. So give yourself credit and think it's a work in progress. All that matters is that I can kind of continue learning from this experience. If this was difficult and I didn't do everything that I wanted to, but I gained knowledge, then that was success. Success is how you are basically implementing, and also, I would say, kind of integrating the experiences that you've experienced, and that's all that's important. It's all part of that knowledge acquisition. All right, let's take a look at your destiny card. Destiny is taking everything that we looked at and saying, am I happy with my trajectory? Do I feel like this is right for me? And I think that's so important for your sign this month, because that's what woke me up early this morning. That's what still has me in a higher sort of energy state for your sign, because there's so much that you're trying to navigate. So what we see here is, it was reversed, but I want to pull it up right so you can see it. Someone creating like a new wave, they're going against the current. So it's kind of like those fish that swim upstream, right? This is what's happening for you. So what I would say for you is, sometimes when you make a change in the world or in your life, it does require you to push. The push can be fun, because you can start to feel this sense of energy around you. This person isn't using all of their own energy. They're also kind of pulling from people around them, from the environment. They're starting to create momentum. So your focus should be not on, this is so hard. It's like, look at how much I'm starting to kind of feel, look at how much speed I'm picking up. If you think of an object that is pushed in outer space, it keeps that velocity, it keeps that, I'm using the wrong term, it keeps the speed, it keeps that energy that goes with it. That's how things keep orbiting forever and ever around the sun and everything. Once that speed is established, it just continues. So if you can imagine yourself kind of like a heavenly object that has created a certain degree of speed, of velocity, you're now going to be able to keep that and build on it based on your thoughts, based on the people around you that are also going to add to your gravity, add to your speed, add to your momentum. Now, if you have been working really hard and you keep hitting a wall, like I said, we have to think of a different way, try a different direction, because what I see here is you have the power to make it happen. But for some of you, it's misdirected. So I think what's important here is to reestablish your emotional state. Think, okay, why am I just pulling at myself in another direction, and kind of like, what is it, like you're throttling yourself. So you want to make sure your heart is fueling you, not pulling you back. And then you also want to make sure, are the people that I'm working with, can they see me? Or am I stuck in a group where they're very traditional and they want me to fit in a certain mold. If so, I've got to create my own tribe. I've got to create my own path. And that could mean, starting your own company or working with someone that's a little bit more unconventional. You have all the keys to be successful, but you have a choice. Many of you are this Two of Wands reminds me of the Two of Swords because of what it's set up for you, which is a path and a choice, and not necessarily a right or a wrong with it. And that's the frustrating thing. If I were to look at Two of Swords, is there's really not a wrong path. It's your path, and you have to make a choice and pick a direction. And I think that's really ultimately what's coming through for you this month. When we get into the meditation, there'll be some additional insight, particularly in healing your heart and being a little bit happy when it comes to love with a capital L. Do you love who you are? Do you love what you're doing? Do you love who you're with? If not, let's fix all of that so that you can then find that success in your life that really wants to come through. It's knocking on the door. Okay. Let's go ahead and review everything that we talked about, and then we'll get into that next portion for you. So like I said, I broke it down into a few major parts. It's money, contracts, and communication. But to get more specific, it's really important for you to be able to feel like you can talk openly about your financial situation with people in your life that you care about, those that are closest to you. If you can't, that's a sign that it's time to move on, or it's time to ask for some assistance so that you can have a third party helping you out. I think this month, if you can avoid it, I would say both February and March, it's really important for you to be wary of signing contracts too quickly. You definitely want to have a lawyer helping you if you need to do that. But otherwise, this is a chance for you to plan. Even if you're going to quit your job, I think it's a chance for you to figure out, when am I going to do that? Do I need to do it now, next month, next year? Really set this blueprint into some sort of a cohesive state so that you're not just kind of flying by the seat of your pants. You don't want to do that this month. Overall, with communication, you want to do it often, early, and openly. Transparency basically is key. And if I had to pick one word to sum all of this up, it really would be that transparency. The interesting thing is success wants to come through, but the key here is it says, I know that there is no greater goal than to love. So if it's finances or if it's career, do you love what you're doing for a living? If it's your life, what is it about it that doesn't make you happy or does make you happy? Amplify what does and minimize what doesn't, because you've already got the requisite key for success here. We see it in the Wheel of Fortune. So trust yourself. It's happening. It's already there. The big thing for you here with the Two of Wands is, I think for many of you, if you're already at a place where you're successful, think about how to continue that. What next? What's going to challenge you? Because some of you might just be feeling sort of bored or antsy with the Seven of Cups. Others of you might have a much deeper desire for something that fulfills you, because the cups are reversed. So that means that there's something that feels empty or not sort of right about the current path. So the cool thing with Two of Wands, as I said, is you have one stake in the ground, one towards the future. You can continue to grow a little bit on this path and think, how can I still maximize? This is Nine of Wands, not 10 of Wands. So that means you can spend a little bit more time here, especially if you like some of the people that you're with and sort of on this path with. But I do think it's time to look at what next. And I think to be an effective manifester, you should always be looking ahead and thinking, where am I headed next, and how can I continue to steer the ship so that I can be effective on this? As we look at your crowning card, Queen of Cups, your heart is in the right place. You have a lot of really positive energy, but there's something that's pulling you down a little bit. Is it that you're taking on energy from so many other people? Is it that you're trying to make all of these people happy? Is it that in that kind of goal for perfection, which we saw over here, that you're second guessing yourself, that you're putting too much energy in trying to do all these, my boss, my children, my friends, where am I in the equation? So you do need to try to kind of reestablish your identity and your purpose, and then you're going to be able to be happy. And you can still be there for everyone, but you'll be a stronger leader. You'll have a little bit more authority, and you're going to own that energy. That's really what this whole month is setting you up for, is that feeling of ownership and success. And with the High Priest here, what we're seeing again is the kind of nexus between manifestation and independence, and also kind of going into a system and saying there's a better way. That system is either going to react and change and transform, as we saw here, or you're going to move to some other place where you can be successful. Again, don't second guess yourself. If you are feeling like you want to find inspiration and improve upon yourself, that card definitely connects with workshops and seminars. So this is about looking within, developing yourself. It's these two together almost equal the Eight of Pentacles. Take care of you, Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Also, with the women in your life, it feels like there's a lot of energy, maternal energy, sister energy, female energy that feels like it's pulling at you. So proper boundaries is going to be very important. And remember that the whole purpose this month is to heal and strengthen that. So part of that is by saying, I also matter in this equation. It's hard for those of you that might also be a mother or be an aunt or be a sister, and you feel like you're trying to be there for everybody. Even if you're a man, you can have that same sort of maternal energy, and it's saying, I have to also be strong and figure out what I need to do as well, because our paths are not just about others. We are at the end of this journey also looking at our own soul growth. So that's really what we see there. As I said, focusing on yourself is important. Healing relationships and having healthy boundaries is important. Don't overthink things this month. Some of you may be creating more stress than is necessary. So really find a way to meditate, clarify, and work in that sort of that new vision of who you are going to be. Because in this Two of Wands, I don't see the crystal ball. I don't see the world. And so I think that piece is missing. Don't be so perfect. And it's easier said than done. We all want to put our best foot forward. But I think that sometimes it's more interesting to see how people recover and how they evolve. It's always a lot of fun to look at like a high school picture of someone and then what they look like now, because we see that they're completely different people. We're not ever stuck in one place, and we're never perfect. We're always evolving. So see yourself as someone that's on that higher path of evolution and development. And like a butterfly, you're going through some change right now, and just don't judge it so much. You have the power to make things happen. If you're meeting too much resistance, perhaps you're not engaged with the right team. Perhaps you're second guessing yourself. Perhaps a slight shift in direction could help you gain a little bit more time, a little bit more energy, and feel like you're getting there a little faster. Hopefully that makes sense. Again, some great messages, because overall, if we look at your catalyst, what's available? Success. What's necessary to get that success? Happiness, trust in your own skills, trying not to be so perfect. I mean, you have everything it takes, but there's some tweaks that have to happen really on an emotional and a mental level that will then eventually affect your spiritual level, that will then help you manifest, which is a good sort of segue. Check out my manifestation videos if you haven't, because I think that could help you out. Definitely sort of in the release state. I think that some of you need to let go a little bit of trying to hold on to something or control it so much. Let's get into the fun part now, which is going to be looking at how to be more in the state of love. Do I love who I am? Do I love what I'm doing? Do I love who I'm with? And if not, how can I kind of overcome that? All right, let's take a look here. We'll look at past influences first. Again, for love with a capital L, which is really that you are in a state of love and loving others, but not necessarily it's not about relationship love. This is about loving yourself. So we have the Seven of Pentacles, and this has to do with the financial stuff that I was talking about, and also recovery. So Seven of Pentacles in and of itself shows that improvement is on its way. The reversal of this shows an attachment to the experience that triggered the Seven of Pentacles. So let's break it down into everyday terms. That means that if you were in a difficult relationship and that person made you feel less than or somehow made you doubt yourself, you're focusing more on what the doubt is, what the fear is, and also why that happened, and you're beating yourself up instead of thinking, thank goodness I realized that I don't want to be with that person. Thank goodness I realized what they said isn't true. And yes, it triggered me, but it also took the blinders off, and I now see people, I see the warning signs. So thank you. And now let's move forward. It's like that song, Thank You Next. But yes, you don't have to sort of sit in the past. Bless them. Bless your exes. Bless your adversaries. Bless everyone and think, thank you for what you taught me. Class is dismissed. Thank you, next. The Seven of Pentacles with finances is very much the same. Maybe you made a bad decision. You could have invested in a house that just kept taking money and you have to divest that investment. Maybe you racked up some debt on a credit card, or lost some money in gambling, whatever it is. Seven of Pentacles can show a loss that you didn't plan. It just happened. But guess what? This is about rebuilding. It's not about focusing on the lack. Whatever you lost, you can make again. And that's what Seven of Pentacles tells you. And it also tells you, like we see it here, you hold that potential to create. Focus on being the creator. Focus on moving up. And that's the difference. Instead of trying to go here, go up and over. And that's kind of like metaphysically what I would say. Go over this block. Don't try to go through it. Or don't try to keep pushing your head against that block, because it's not necessary. So forgive yourself, forgive others, focus on creation. That's going to help you love yourself and forgive yourself. Whatever you went through, it made you smarter, it made you stronger. If you look at any businesswoman or businessman that is successful, they have big flops in their sort of resume, things that really didn't work at all. And they don't sit there and sort of sit on that one flop. They go past it. Artists as well. They have albums or pieces of artwork that nobody gets, but then they have other ones that people remember. It's the good stuff that people remember, not so much the bad stuff. The Star in reverse. Very important message with her. The Star is one of my favorite cards. I think I might have answered that question in the Q&A that I did, because this shows a connection to your higher purpose. It's a beautiful card in almost every deck as well. The reversal of this is saying, I'm afraid to shine. I'm afraid to be who I need to be. I'm afraid that people won't love me. The fear dims your light, brings it down, and doesn't allow you to shine. The Star has no patience for that. It's saying, no, the time is now to be who you are, to do what you want to do, and to do so with love, with passion, without any apologies. Because if you're operating from a place of love, kindness, and that kind of divine energy, you're not hurting anyone. You're helping someone. You're blessing the world with this divine energy. So be yourself. Stop trying to change who you are to please others. And that was definitely something that I saw with this card. And what we're really seeing when we look at these two together is the difference between doing what others want, Six of Wands, and doing what you want. And ironically, you're going to attract just as much success on the second path, but you'll be much happier. So stop trying to please others. It's not worth it. A lesson that took me a long time to learn, but it's definitely worth it. All right, we're going to look now at, as we're looking at self-healing, love, and forgiveness, but also success, because these two are kind of intrinsically tied together for you this month. So I want to see how we can get you to that point, and then we're going to meditate. We're going to heal it. And I think your sign, you should definitely stick around for this meditation or watch it later, because like I said, you woke me up about 3 or 4 hours early, and I want to help you heal and transform this. So there's a lot of healing to be done. Okay, Page of Wands. This is about getting out there and starting. Pages receive, they also deliver, and Wands are about really opening up your mind and demonstrating who you are. So when we look at the two here, it's about just being what you already know you are, and stepping out there, allowing it to begin. This is like the baby card. I talked in another sign. It's like a baby boss, because the King card is the one that really has all of the energy of being able to manifest, but you have it. So plant that little seed and start to shine and start to grow, and you'll get there. So you're on your way to success. You have what it takes. I think for some of you, don't expect it to happen overnight, right? It takes time. So that's why I want you to maybe start the next path while you're still finishing up this one. So it's not a feeling of, I'm lost in the woods. It's a feeling of, all right, compass, I'm ready for this path now. I've set it all up. It's all cleared. I can see where I'm going. Yeah? Okay. Let's go ahead now and get into the meditation. I would like you to get into a place where you're comfortable and ready to open up and receive. And again, if you can't listen to it now, please listen to it later, because this is the way to kind of seal off all the work that we've done. All right, when you're ready, close your eyes, and I'd like you to tune into your body. I always like to start physical, then we'll go metaphysical. We're going to be working with trees in this meditation. In particular, I saw aspens in my head, because they are a communal tree. It's sort of, they're all connected. And if you're in a forest of aspens, quaking aspens, all of them kind of communicate to each other. So it's a very psychic tree, and I thought it would be a good one. They're beautiful, and in the fall, they have a beautiful sort of golden color. They have really nice, I think they have like, almost like birch tree, like really nice trunks too. So it's just a beautiful tree to work with. If you can't see that, you could also work with pines or anything like that, but aspens if you know what they look like. So close your eyes. Imagine that you're in a quaking aspen forest. Find a tree that you like, sit against that tree, breathe and scan your body first. If there's any place that you're holding on to pain, it could be your back, it could be shoulders, neck. It could also be just the thoughts in your head and you want to clear them. Breathe into your body and open everything up. As your lungs expand, as your heart space expands, know too that the energy around you is starting to open, is starting to brighten as well. So breathe in, inhale. Hold that for a second. And then as you exhale, I want you to feel that the energy is going from the top of your crown all the way through your body, into your feet, into the base of your spine. And I want you to connect with the trunk as you exhale. Feel that sense of stability in the trunk. Imagine that it's hundreds of years old, able to weather any storm. And I want you to feel this strength and sturdiness that maybe you don't have in your own life, but you're starting to feel with the strength and the support of the tree. Take a moment to travel down the base of that trunk and feel the energy as the roots go into the earth itself. Feel the connectedness that the tree has to the planet, something that we've lost as human beings. Take a moment now to also go beneath the roots, go all the way to the center of the earth and feel the heart of the planet, the warmth, the heat, the movement that exists within the heart of the planet, and know that we are connected. We are all vessels within that big organism that is Earth. And I want you to send some love to the planet and feel that just as the tree, you are now connecting to the heart of Earth. Feel her love, feel her energy, feel her support. Feel the tree's support as well as you bond with this energy. And as you're doing this, I want you to feel also the connection between your brother and sister trees in the forest. As I said, a quaking aspen forest is connected. Everything can feel one another. It's basically like your soul family around you. So I want you to start to feel all of the support, which we saw at the center here with the 10 of Cups. There are friends, there are family, there are soul members of your sort of higher family that want to come through and love you. As you are meditating, you're connecting with many of them today. So know that you are recognized. They see your strength. They don't want you to change. They support you. You have many mothers and fathers from past lives and from a soul level that are there saying you're more than enough. You're exactly who you need to be. Shine brightly. Now start to reach up the trunk of the tree into the branches above and all of the sort of golden leaves on top of this tree. I want you to kind of drink in the sunlight as well, just the same color as the sun. You can see the leaves. Imagine that it's autumn and you're bringing in that energy. You see this beautiful golden light all around you, starting to radiate in the crown chakra, and feel that you're almost conjuring that energy in there. It's always existed, but you're now opening up the crown chakra to receive divine energy, divine inspiration, divine blessings. And as that multi-part lotus chakra opens up, I want you now to feel that you are drinking in all of this strength, all of this knowledge, almost like, the tree of life. You are that tree of life. You don't know where you stop and the tree begins. Allow that energy to melt into your third eye. Imagine that eye opening up and seeing the world for the first time, seeing all of the opportunities. Imagine that you could also gaze within and see yourself, your true self, with love, with compassion, with acceptance. Is there something you don't love about yourself? If there is, release that feeling now. Know that it was something that was a limiting thought. Could have been something your mother, your father, a friend, a teacher said, and it's stuck in your energy. Take that beautiful warm light that's coming through the crown and the third eye. See the truth of who you are. See the falseness in their statement. Release it through a breath, through tears, through just kindness and understanding. Take a deep breath and let go of that illusion that was clouding your third eye. Feel the energy as it starts to melt through your body into your throat chakra. And I want you to find your voice. Maybe you're a singer, maybe you're a writer, maybe you're just an everyday person that for the first time feels that they can speak for themselves. that their voice matters. Feel maybe even the tone of your voice starting to change, starting to resonate differently as that energy works its way through the vocal cords, through the throat, taking any blocks that existed and removing them. Feeling as this loving energy goes through the throat that it's now working towards the heart, painting it, coloring it, enriching it with this beautiful golden light as the heart now accepts the energy and starts to pump it through every part of the body, so that even the parts that I've missed in this meditation are receiving that. Every blood vessel, every capillary, every skin cell, every hair in your body is being upgraded. The DNA is changing, is being brought into a higher frequency so that you can, in your earthly incarnation, also embody this ancient wisdom, the wisdom of the trees, the wisdom of your soul. If there's any pain that you're feeling, just allow it to come out in the exhale. If you feel like you need to let go of anything with a tear or a deep sigh, let that as well go away. Know that your brothers and sisters around you support you. There's no judgment. As this energy from the heart space continues to work through your body, allow it now to go to your fourth chakra, your third chakra, from the fourth to the third, controlling relationships. See this connection between the heart and the solar plexus light up, knowing that you now no longer have to feel that your power is being taken, controlled, or influenced by someone else. You're not beholden to them anymore. If it's a mother, feel that the umbilical cord between you has basically been removed now. You can feel it melting. You just feel that your heart space is open, but you're not being controlled. Your stomach is strong. You feel that you know who you are. You feel that you can handle anything. You feel that energy coming through your heart, through your throat, through your third eye, through your crown, connecting your power center to all of these higher centers as well. And then naturally the energy melts to your second chakra, where we hold creativity, where we hold our sexual side, and also how we interact with others, knowing now that we can be creative, we can be our true selves, that we don't have to try to control people either. It can just be an expression of who we are, what we're trying to do. You can be the star. Your star energy really needs this second chakra to be alive. So feel that your creativity can be shown to the world without judgment, without altercation, without any sort of need to try to be more than. Just exist. Just allow this to be a display of your love, of your passion, of your divine energy. And then feel safety as the energy goes through your root chakra and actually connects with your legs and the root of the tree as well. And now breathe, being this beautiful being of light, with each and every chakra touched by this golden light of God and the universe, by the knowledge and loving energy of the trees around you, and by your soul brothers and soul sisters as well. Feel now, as each of us are doing this, that we are lighting up the planet. No matter what time of day or night you're doing this meditation, the planet is glowing with a little bit more light, a little bit more intensity. And together we're going to hold each other up, not just through the month of March, but every month of the year and every year of our life. Inhale. Allow a sense of peace, of power, of purpose to be with you, to be traced in your auric field. See the golden light around you. Seal that energy and that intention by taking your hands and creating a circle around your body. Take your right hand on and put it on your heart, your left hand on top of that. Feel the energy in your heart space as well. And then reverse, put your left hand on your heart, your right hand on top of that. So if there's anything that needed to be undone or taken apart, that it is now reversed, that your energy is going in the right direction. One last breath so that you feel your power, your purpose. Let go. Come back into your body. See your energy reconnecting. See this new golden state of being. Lock into your physical state. Third eye wide open, crown chakra awake. Your lower chakra is also stable, connected to the planet, allowing you to be brighter and higher in the higher states as well, in the higher chakras. Gently open your eyes. Welcome back. Hopefully this helped you get that sense of power, of purpose, and yeah, and basically fill up the cups that we saw with the 7 of Cups there that was reversed. You have that power to create. Give yourself permission to do so. Okay? What a lovely meditation today. I hope that you really embrace that center energy of the star, which we saw here, and take the first steps over the course of March to create your new destiny, your new purpose, your plan B for some of you, knowing that it may take more than a month for that to happen. It may take the rest of the year, but you know what you need to do. And that's the most important piece of that. I want to say thank you to everybody that gave me a super chat today. When we're done, I will call you out on the comment section and just say thank you. I try not to interrupt as we're going through this, as you know. If you want to keep in touch with me, you can join me on my website, nicholasashbaugh.com. That's going to connect you to really all the questions you have. One of the frequently asked questions is how do I book an appointment? You know, what are your social media handles, etc. If you go to my website, everything's there. But for those of you that want to push pause and join me, you can join me on YouTube if you're already here. You just click like and subscribe. On Facebook, it's the same address, which is Nicholas Ashbaugh. If you want to make a difference, you can become a channel member or join me on Patreon, and that's a way to contribute on a monthly basis. But if you want to do it for free, hit subscribe. It costs nothing, but it makes a big impact for me. You can also join me on Twitter. I try to do a live tweet every day, reminding you of what's coming through for this day or later in the week. And likewise, both on Facebook and on Instagram, I will do stories to remind you of what's coming through. Plus, there's some cute pictures of Apollo on Instagram. So Nicholas_Ashbaugh for Instagram. And finally, if you're old school, you can do PayPal, and it's Nicholas Ashbaugh. And my moderators have provided the links to that. And again, all of it's on my website, nicholasashbaugh.com. Thank you all for being present today, for allowing me to kind of open up the gates of energy. I really think for you, the main thing to remember is you have the power to create change. Just look at your direction and think, am I engaged with the right people? And am I on the most effective path? If not, do a little course correction and get into that star energy and know that you can do it, okay? Thank you so much, Ryan and Maria, for helping me hold the space. Thank you, everybody, for joining me from different parts of the world, for making some time today in your schedule. Sending you much love and light. Now and always, like I said, we're like those trees in the forest. This isn't just about today. It isn't just about March. We're trying to change the trajectory of your life. So I hope that this did that. If you like what you saw today, please share it with someone in your life as well. And thank you for, again, your love and your support. I'll see you all soon. Have a wonderful day, and take care of yourselves. Thank you again.